Hi, this is Bonnie from Fairy Stamper YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be working on a gift card holder, and this is going to be this is the cover and what I'm going to show you how to make. And I'm going to show you some of the supplies really quickly. I am using spinner, Fairy Hugs spinner, and I on this particular one I used the anchor from the sunken ship, but since the sunken ship has been released, there's a new anchor coming out, or that came out rather this last month, and I'm going to be using this one. It's going to be a little bit larger down here, but I'm going to use this one. So those are the two items I'm going to be using, and then I'm also going to be using Fairy Hugs Fairy Scapes paper. This is a really good sturdy paper, and it's kind of cool how that worked out. You can kind of see right here. What I did is I die cut this section out. Now you can still use the rest of this paper by covering that little section up. So it's not a waste. It's actually making two cards or two projects out of one paper. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can kind of see a little bit of the shadow up above the moon. And that's why I want it that way, because you can see how there's just a little bit of an edge right there as well. This die is about, let's see here, I would say the opening is about 2 inches and 75, 2 3/4 inches, let's just say that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut, and I'll be right back. Okay, I forgot to tell you the name of the paper. It's called Moon Glow Green, and this is the part that I punched out, and you can see how that looks and how I'm going to be using this part. Like I said, again, it's really easy. I can still use this part of the card for another project. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to stamp the two images that we need, and the first one I'm going to stamp directly on here. And that, not that the other one can't be, but because I'm adding the chain to it, I decided I'm going to stamp it separately and then put it on. So the anchor is going to be first, but I have to make sure that I have the anchor in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my spinner, Dolphin, lay him on there so we know where we want him to be, and it's going to be about right there. So my anchor is going to be going just down below that. I'll move that over, and it's going to go to the side. It's a little bit bigger than my original, and that's why it's going to be sitting there instead. All right, and for the ink, I'm going to be using VersaFine Clair Twilight. It worked really well offsetting the Dolphin, and I'm hoping that this color will show up. If it doesn't on here, it's not a waste, because I can stamp it separately and cut it out, but I'm going to see if it shows up fine. Let's check that out. Yeah, it looks really good, so we're good for that one. I'm probably going to be coloring that one in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss that too. But before I do that, I want to get these two done at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Dolphin. This is really a pretty simple project. It's just a matter of cutting and stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and do my Dolphin. That's spinner. And again, I'm using the Twilight VersaFine Clair. And make sure it's inked up really well, or you're just going to have to stamp it a second time. It's not a big deal. And this works well too, because it's pretty much the color. Well, it's not really the color of a dolphin, but it's blue. Just not the exact, it's more of a blue or gray color. I think they're more of a gray color. But this works. And you can see how nice that stamps and all the detail. And it's going to be very easy to cut that one out. You can see they're all nothing but pretty much straight lines. So I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss that with clear embossing powder, and I'm also going to do the anchor, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have these both heat embossed, and I've got a spinner cut out. Like I said, it was fairly easy to cut out. But before I add these, I want to do a little bit of gel coloring of the inker. And I am going to be using a jelly roll, and this one, I don't think this one says, but it's kind of a sparkly, it might have been on here and worn off, I don't know. But anyway, it is like a sparkly gray, so I'll show it to you. It's more like a silver sparkly glitter. And it's not, it's because it's more of a clear one, you can still see the background from the paper. I could have used a gel pen that was silver, but I chose to use this instead. All right, and then I'm going to do a little bit of gold gel pen to the, it looks like rivets right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Here we go. Okay, and then the bands up here, I'm going to go ahead and add the gold gel pen also. And then the star. Yeah, so that's, you know, a pretty easy combination. All right, then the next thing that I do is the top of this hole, I'm going to go ahead and punch that and put a brad in there. So the next thing I do after I punch that hole, as you can see that hole, I just go right ahead and put this tiny brad in that hole. And then I have to figure out where this dolphin is going to go next. I'm going to put that up just a tad for me so I can see. And once I know where the dolphin goes, I can then use the ball chain and place that where it needs to go. I can't figure out how much I need of the ball chain until I know where I'm going to be putting, you know, stamping and putting the dolphin and the anchor. Then from there, you decide the best place to put them. And what I do, I'm going to show you, is I put double-sided tape on the back of the dolphin. Its name is Spinner, like I said. And we're going to go ahead and look at the one I did to begin with, just so you can see what I'm doing. Except I use, like I said, a different anchor. Okay, so he's going to be going about right there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So then the next thing is I have this Tim Holtz, it's like a ball and chain, but you can get this pretty much anywhere, but that's where I got mine from. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like measure roughly about here to his mouth, okay? So whatever that measurement's going to be for you, I want to make sure that it goes underneath his mouth, so I'll probably add one. But because I want it to wiggle a little bit, I am going to add about, not quite an inch more, but about an inch more, and that's where I'm going to cut it. And I don't know if you have these tools. There's this tool that cuts metal. A lot of times I use this for my dies when they're attached. It works perfectly. So you just need that little bit. Now, yes, you can use hot glue, and that would probably be secured. I just sometimes don't like to see the hot glue. So I have this stuff that's called Mod Podge, but I am sure glossy accents would work, and you would be able to get the same effect. It glues really well. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a, well, not a bubble, a dot of that right above the anchor. And then I'm going to put a dot a little bit underneath his beak. Or not a beak, whatever you call those. They don't have a beak. Yeah, I don't know what dolphins, what those are called. Not nose, mouth, whatever, mouth. I don't know why I said it was a beak. Crazy. Okay, so you can see how I just added that piece there. And I don't want to move this around a whole lot. And this does really tell me if I want to trim it a little bit now too. I think I do want to trim it. And this is fine. It's like it just lets you know kind of like where you want it. I think I didn't need that much extra. So let's trim it again. Whoops. And I'll sit that right in that little bubble. And if you're concerned about getting that really close, I always use my handy dandy paper piercer for moving things. And it looks like he's holding that in his mouth. So I have to let that dry before I can attach it to anything. But that is your cover to your gift card holder. So if you want like any sentiment to put in the bottom, you can put a sentiment down there. That's great. Or the sentiment can go on the inside of your gift card holder. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to show you how I make my gift card holder. For this guy, I'm going to use black. Navy would have been good too. And I'm going to pull this up just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I made a pattern, and the pattern is based on a gift card. This isn't really a gift card. It's a Lego VIP. So I needed to know that whatever I made, that it would fit into that. So, and I wanted 3 sections, so it had to be divided evenly. So what I'm going to show you what I did was, the whole section technically is 8, and it's supposed to be 8.5. I cut mine short, and I don't want it that way. I'd rather fold this back, because my first sample I did, it would look so much better if I would have just kept this full length, 8 inches and 8.5 inches, which is usually the well, it's the width of the paper that we have here. I don't know what the A9, A4, and all that is. All I know is this is 8.5 by 11 paper, and I need the width of it. So I don't need to cut these curves. I just need to have some idea where the line is, because I'm going to use my punch for that. So basically all I need to do is then I need to know it's 4 1/4 at the top. So I'm not going to cut this out by hand, but I just wanted to show you. And then I'll come back with my punch and I'll curve it with my punch. I'm not going to cut that out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like once it's cut out. Okay, so I've got that cut, so that is, again, I'm going to tell you, it's 8.5 by 4 1/4. And then the next thing that I need is that each section, I need 3 sections, is going to be 2 3/4. So again, this is 2.5, 2 3/4. And you're just going to score that. And then we need 2 3/4 again. So that's 1/4. Yeah, be 5 1/4. Is it correct? 5 1/4. I want to make sure I'm right. Hold on. 5 1/2 is what I need. I'm terrible with math. I'll tell you that. I'm terrible with math, but that's 5 1/2. That's got to be right. Yep. 5 1/2. And then we're good. So again, I'm going to tell you, yeah, is that my right spot too? So then I'm going to tell you again, it's 2 3/4 and 5 1/2 that you score. And this piece is going to be big. And so what I'm going to do for that is I am going to cut, I'm just going to show you this. I need it to be a little bit smaller to bend over, so I am going to do the smallest amount that I can, which is 1/4 on the end. And I'm going to be cutting this part out anyway, the top part, because I don't need this top piece. But I need to stay in the line. Okay, so again, I scored it at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and then 8 1/4. That's all we need. So it's really not that hard. I'm kind of making it a little bit more complicated, and it's hard to see the black. So this is going to be my cover, and this is going to be my inside. And as you can see, it's too big. So that's why I wanted to have this extra folding part, because that'll help me secure that down there inside. But here's the deal. I need to cut it so that you can see the gift card. So that, I mean, I made this I try to make it kind of simple. Now, if you're really good at drawing, wanting your thing to be straight, which I am known for not making the most straight things in the world because I eye everything. But I think that looks right. Yep, we're gonna go there. If I have to fix it later, I will fix it. So, you might want to measure and make sure yours is perfect. And then we're going to cut it up here. I just need that part open. Okay, so that is what our gift card base is going to look like. Just like that. It folds over perfectly, and it's going to hold my gift card. And I shoved everything over, so but now I don't know where I did with my gift card. I'll find it in a minute. So I wanted to show you what that looked like. Oh well. So I'm going to go ahead. I need to punch these before they get too thick. I'm going to figure out what I did with my gift card. So I'm using a corner punch, and you don't have to curve these at all. I just liked it, and I'm going to go ahead and do that one. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this one on the bottom. And then I'm also going to do this right here. And you have to keep it folded over. That will be your tightest one. Okay. So then the next thing, in order to secure it, I'm going to use score tape, double-sided score tape. If it will hold still. And it's not really securing anything that's heavy duty. Like I said, it's just a gift card. So, and say for instance you don't want it to do a gift card. Maybe that's not what you want to do with this. It would work really good if you just wanted to put a tag inside of this with a special little note. Or quite frankly, anything can go inside of this. But I set it up to be a gift card. So there we go. Oh, I did miss one spot right there. There we go. So that's our gift card holder. It's pretty simple. And I am going to get that and see if the Dolphin is dry, and we'll put that on the cover. Okay, so I found my gift card, and you're going to find this to be really funny. It fits in really good, but guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the tape at the bottom. So don't do that. Don't do what I did. But I just went ahead and, I'm going to do it this way. I just went ahead and made some tape about the right length that needs to go inside of there, but don't do what I did and put the tape on first. I just got going and forgot all about that bottom part. It's so much easier though if you do it first, even to try to get that tape out. There we go. Got it. Okay. So now the bottom is secure and the gift card won't fall out. And there we go. So that works really well. Now I'm going to put the cover on. Now this cover is a little bit larger, if you can see, and that's okay. It's just a tad bit, the cover is just a tad bit larger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the, I've got my score tape, not score tape, my double-sided foam tape. I'm not going to put it on the cover because it is bigger. I'm going to put it on the cover of the gift card holder. That's a pretty simple, like I said, concept. If you have something, say for instance you aren't going to use the gift or a gift card, you can still do the same concept for anything you want to put in a pocket. For instance, if you want to use this concept for a mini album, you can just make the whole business bigger. Same concept, just make it a little bit bigger. And it would work. Not only that, but you could make several of these and then keep attaching them, and they'll end up being a cute little mini album too. So there's, using this concept, there's a lot of things you can do, and they just are super cute. And the reason I like this dolphin with the chain is because the chain moves, and it makes it kind of fun. Kids like that. I actually like it. I think it's fun. So it's not probably 100% dry, but it's dry enough for me to set it on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that over carefully and set this on top, because I can see how I'm lining it up. Okay, that looks good. I'll turn it back over carefully, and there we go. We have our gift card holder and our little spinner with our little chain that moves. There you go. And you can write a sentiment inside, or you can even stamp a sentiment if you want to inside, like happy birthday or whatever, congratulations for a graduation, for a wedding. You can change the picture and make it anything. So I hope you liked that. It was really fun and a little bit simple to make. And I just would like to ask you if you could, if you haven't already, subscribe, if you could, and if you could give this a thumbs up. And I want to also remind you about Fairy Stamper Hugs on Facebook, where we share not just fairy hugs, but we share all kinds of magical cards there, and you'll get great inspiration. So again, thanks for stopping by.